Greetings and welcome, viewers. Before starting today's program, my mom will be initiating the 10th episode of Side Talks with an important quote. Over to you, Mom.
Sairam, brother Dr. V. Mohan, we are so glad to hear from you today. Thank you so much for creating time for us. And today's quote is: "The service of man is the only means by which you can serve God." This is like truly a profound message. And over the years, you have been following, and Swami is reassuring us that uh, you have been continuing doing it, and he's very happy about it. I think that's why this message came today. I'm so glad you are here to spend some quality time with us. Thank you so much once again, brother.
Hi Ram,
Now,
thank you for inviting me.
bye, Ram.
Right, and then thank you, Mom.
Thank you.
And then, sorry. And then thank you all for joining us on the 10th episode of Side Talks. Today we have with us Dr. V. Mohan, MD, PhD, DSc, who is a globally respected physician, researcher, and healthcare leader. He serves as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust at Prashanti Nilayam, and is also a member of the Executive Committee of the Sri Sathya Sai Global Council, roles he considers the highest honor of his life. Professionally, Dr. Mohan is the chairman of Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Specialty Center, an International Diabetes Federation Center of Excellence, and the chairman of the Madras Diabetes Research Foundation, an Indian Council of Medical Research Collaborating Center of Excellence, and Asia's also largest standalone diabetes research center. Under his leadership, Dr. Mohan's Diabetes Specialty Center oversees a network of 50 diabetes centers across 8 states in India, serving nearly 700,000 registered patients, the largest such network in the world. A researcher since his undergraduate medical days, Dr. Mohan has published over 1,850 peer-reviewed scientific papers, earning more than 255,000 citations with an H index of 172, a record for a practicing medical doctor. He has received over 250 national and international awards, including the Dr. Harold Rifkin Award, Dr. Kelly West Award, the European Association for the Studies of Diabetes Global Impact Prize, and the Padma Shri, which is India's fourth highest civilian honor. He's deeply devoted to Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Dr. Mohan has authored two widely read books: Sathya Sai Baba Lives On, which has been translated into 13 languages, and Eternal Divine Grace. He has provided a lifelong free medical care to thousands of underprivileged patients and has conducted more than 25,000 free diabetes camps, many in collaboration with the Sri Sathya Sai organization. He humbly attributes all his achievements to Bhagwan Sri Sai Baba's grace and blessings. With that, I would like to thank you, Dr. V. Mohan, for joining us today.
Thank you, Sai.
Sairam. So we'll be diving into Sairam. So we'll be diving into the first question for today, which will be kind of more focused on your childhood and then maybe your early medical school days. So could you please share a few memorable experiences from your childhood and medical school years that played a significant role in shaping who you are today, and what initially inspired you to pursue a career in medicine?
Thank you, Sai. I'm glad you asked me that. Now, I studied in an Anglo-Indian school, and it's a Christian school, and so English was given a lot of importance in that school, and I got very fond of English, literature, poetry, and so on. And so the way the teachers taught us there, of course, science was also taught, but the passion was English at the time. And so I fancied a career that I would become a professor of English and become a poet and a writer. Writing was somehow very, very, close to my heart. It still is, and it was even at that time. And so, if left to myself, I probably would have ended up as an author. And although I am an author in some sense now, but could have been a full-time writer and an author. But life had, I think Swami had other plans for me. And Swami, although I became a devotee only much, much later, in 1992, I think I took the first steps towards Swami. But throughout my childhood, Swami had been reaching out to me in many, many ways. For example, my father was Professor Vishwanathan, was the first diabetologist, official diabetologist of independent India. So 1947, we got independence, and 1948, he had already started the first diabetic clinic in Chennai at the Stanley Medical College. And just next door to my father's hospital in North Madras in Roypuram, there was the Shanti Kutir. And Shanti Kutir was one of the first mandirs devoted to Swami in Chennai. And Swami used to come there to Shanti Kutir. At that time, this was 1960s probably. And at that time, as a young boy, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And I used to stand on the wall. My father's hospital wall wasn't very big. And I used to stand there and I could look over the wall and see Swami hardly 30 feet away, 20, 30 feet away. And there'd be a crowd of people around him. Not too many, maybe about 50 people around him. And Swami, because people will tell me that Swami is coming, Swami, who's the Swami? So I'll go and see there, and he 50 feet away, he'll be there. And from the wall, I could see him literally. I never knew that one day, Swami will play such a big role in my life. And so, more out of curiosity, I used to watch. He used to speak in Telugu with a English translation. So I remember those days very clearly. So my father suddenly had to leave the Stanley Medical College around 1969 or so, and that was the year when I was finishing my high school. And so when he knew that he is going to leave, some political changes, and so he had to leave. So when he left, he called me and he said, because I was a topper, school topper. In fact, my school record that I set for my high school, I got a state rank, which the school had not got for some 30 years. And then my mark, the mark that I had got in the school was unbroken for about 25 years. So I could have got into anything. So my father, called me and said, "What do you plan to do?" And I said, "English literature." And he said, "Why?" I said, "I want to become a writer." So he said, "You become a scientific writer. Why don't you become a scientific writer? You can write scientific articles and all that. But plus, I need you. You're my eldest son, and I'm going to start something in the private sector. And unless I have a legacy, why would I start that now?" Because he's kind of semi-retiring already from Stanley. So that kind of inspired me to join him. And then I told him, if I'm going to join you, and if my idea is that I should help you, there's no point in you waiting for next 15, 20 years. Because I'll have to finish MBBS, then finish MD, then finish DM or PhD or something. It'll be 15, 20 years later. What's the point in my helping you? So why don't I join you right away? The medicine is by the side. My main thing is to help you in diabetes. On the side, I'll do my MBBS and MD and all that. But let me start working with you for my first day. Now, this is a unique opportunity. I think Swami has given this opportunity because I don't think any medical student, when they join anatomy physiology to start to learn about the anatomy and the thing, starts working in a specialty already. But because I'd already seen my father working something, but from first year onwards, I started working with him. So he said, I have all, and that time it's all paper records. There's no computers, nothing. He said, I've got all my records, go through my records, see what you can make out of it. So I started studying his records. And then we hired a biochemist and set up a small lab. I said, I want a research lab. So he set up a small lab. We bought some mice and rats and all this when I was in second year, just joined medicine. And then seeing my interest, so that research was going on in my father's clinical work, the patients, then the research work. Then when I came to third year, Dr. my classmate and close friend, another Mohan Kameshwaran, well-known ENT specialist, another Padma Shri. So his father was an ENT doctor, but his mother was a professor of pharmacology. So she saw my interest and she said, "You seem to be so passionate about research. We have an animal house in Madras Medical College. Why don't you revive that? Nobody's even going there. Why don't you revive it and you can start doing whatever experiments you want there?" So there were dogs there and so on. So I started operating on dogs and producing diabetes in them and trying various treatments and all this when I was in third year of medical school. So that research passion continued right through, and even today, after 53 years or so, it's not gone. It's only increased. That passion, that fire for research. So that is how how I still wrote a book of poems when I was in medical college. Then I gave up because that's very abstract, and this is so focused and scientific focus. That one is all abstract imagination. The two are total clash. So I can't do both. So I said after MBBS I gave that up. But while in college, I learned to multitask, which helps me even today. I was a college athletic captain. I was in the fine arts team. I was playing cricket. I was playing tennis. I used to write poetry. I used to do research. I used to go for the prize exams. I used to write for university exams. So everything I learned to do at that time. And that's how today also I'm able to do. I'm able to do a bit of sci work, bit of research, bit of field work, and do free camps, and then see my patients, and then write research papers, and then attend to the Sai activities in Puttaparthi. And so all this, I think my early childhood Swami had already prepared me at that time to do all that. So that was how I got into medicine. And having got into medicine, there was a fantastic batch we had, the 1971 batch. In fact, in another 2 weeks we are meeting. This will be a 54th year when we are meeting together. 1971 we joined MBBS. Three people from my batch got Padma Shri. Three people from my batch got the BC Roy Award, the highest award for all the same three. So Mohan Kameshwaran, another orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Mailvahanan, and myself. All our names are in M. So we are all together. All our fathers, so Mailvahanan's father is an orthopedic surgeon, he took up orthopedics. Mohan Kameshwaran's father, Kameshwaran was an ENT surgeon, he took up ENT. My father, the diabetologist, I took up diabetes. So probably we had a big lift because our father, same lines we took up. But it was a fantastic. We are not the only three. We had very brilliant people in our batch, and to get in the first 10 in our batch was very difficult. That's how the competition was. But we stayed friends, and even now, after 54 years. In fact, my wife was my classmate. She was an ophthalmologist, and so she studied with me. Unfortunately, she developed cancer quite early. All that is described in my book, Sathya Baba Lives On, and Swami looked after her and looked after us with all the love. And she lived 17 years with cancer, but ultimately passed away in 2011. So,
Well, yeah, thank you so much for touching on your childhood and, what developed you to, an interest in medicine and, going through medical school and studying with, like-minded individuals and you all grew together and then you are still in touch with today. So that's wonderful. And then moving on to the next question, you have had a truly unique and inspiring journey. Could you speak about the vision and journey behind establishing the Dr. V. Mohan Diabetes Specialty Center, which has grown into one of the most prominent centers for diabetology in Asia, and also the milestones that eventually led to you receiving the Padma Shri Award?
okay. So I joined my father in 1971, and up to 1991, both my wife and I worked with my father. 20 years we built that center. But then, my father was now 20 years older after I had left Stanley, and I was, I peaked very early because I started at 18. And when I was 38, I already finished 20 years in diabetes. First 10 years as a student, next 10 years as a consultant with my father. And so my ambition was actually growing. I wanted to build a big research center. I had, a lot of dreams of having, big center, big thing. And my father, by the time, was slowing down because he had already finished 20 years after his Stanley thing, and he was slowing down. I was accelerating, and there was a total mismatch. So then my wife and I thought about it and said, I think it's time we left and started on our own. My duty was to serve my father. 20 years I worked with him. Now things are not, my ideas seem to be a little different from what he wants, and my ambitions are quite big. So then she said, let's leave. So when we were leaving, my father, of course, was not very happy that I was leaving. So he said, if you're so smart, you took up medicine to work with me. Now, if you're so smart and you think you can do it on your own, take a stethoscope and leave. I'm not giving you anything. So I said, what about 20 years I work for you? He said, that's you work for me. Good. Now you go. Take your stethoscope and leave. Now, that was a very tough thing because my wife had already borrowed a lot of money to set up the eye department in my father's place. So that means she had huge loans. And with that, we had to move with nothing. We had no bank balance at all because all our money we were donating to research. Those days, we couldn't get any research grants. We are a private organization, and nobody in the very few research grants. If they are, they'll go to the government. They won't come to us. So we were spending all our private money, all our salary, and everything we're putting into research because the passion was so much. So we are not earned anything. We are actually in minus. Then my wife had this big loan which she had to give back. In those circumstances, with my stethoscope, we had to leave. So that is the time when I came to Swami. And within a few months, we had met Swami, and from there on, he took care of all of us. And from there on, every time we would, initially I couldn't get close to Swami, but slowly, it happened. And then we would regularly, ask Swami for guidance, and he would guide. And he told me much before I had started any branches and all that. He told me, you will be setting up a big research center, you will be starting branches, you have long way to go, you will be internationally known. Many things he had already foreseen and told me long ago. Of course, I didn't believe it at that time. I said, such a small clinic we have, where we are going to grow. But as he had said, and with his grace, so many miracles came, and all that is described in my book. Unbelievable things happen. People just writing out checks and giving, unknown people coming, and it's all through Swami. And but for him, nothing would have happened. None of these branches, nothing. No Dr. Mohan Center, nothing would have happened. So from there, we started. We built the center in a rented place. We went first, and that place we outgrew. Then we had to take another place to put the beds. Then we said, why are we renting all these places? Why don't we buy some place? So we bought our present place in Gopalapuram. We bought that land and built our hospital. And we thought that's the end of it. We'll just have one big hospital and be done with it. We outgrew that also. And then we had to start our first branch in Chennai. We tried it out with my students who are trained. If they start seeing patients without me, how does it work? It worked well. Then we started one in Hyderabad, directly took Swami's, because the devotees from Hyderabad who came there, they discouraged me. They said, don't start, you will do very badly, don't come. So Swami saw me sitting a little, then he called me, what doctor, something is worrying you. Then I said, no, Swami, this Hyderabad, I'm wondering whether I should go. You should go, you will do very well in Hyderabad, he said. Today we have 7 branches in Hyderabad. We have five in Bangalore and 7 in Hyderabad. We have 8 in Chennai, totally 50 branches we have in 8 states and 32 cities. So that was again Swami's blessing with which we came. So we started growing, and now meanwhile, the research center, one of the main thing with my father disagreements was that I wanted a building for a research center. And he said it will never survive, because how are you going to get a research center when only government can do it or university can do it? How can you as a private individual do research? It's nice for you to do research, but don't make this too serious, and you're taking research too seriously, he said. I said, no, it's my dream. I want to have a research center. So somewhere in 2000 or so, we bought the land next door to a hospital and built a block there. So when we did that, even the ICMR DG Director General who came to inaugurate it, he also told me, like my father, why are you having such a big building? It's not a big building, it's only 3-4 stories. But he said, but how will you survive? How will you make this work and all that? Exactly same thing. Then there was a chairman of another eye hospital who came. He also said, wow, what are you doing, Mohan? How are you going to have this as research? I said, I somehow feel this is not enough for me. And so we will see. Within 3 years, we got a 6.5 acre plot in Siriseri, about 20 kilometers from, this is in the heart of the city, there's a little outskirts. 6.5 acres of land was leased out to us. And there we built a 35,000 square feet facility, which is the largest standalone research center in the world, actually. And
really?
that was inaugurated by the same DG, same ICMR DG. He was still DG. So he told me this is too much. And then within 3 years, he came to inaugurate the other building, which is 30,000 square feet in a 6.5 acre campus. And I said, sir, you said that was too much. Now, see, we have built 10 times that size. I built another one. And he said, I know, I take back what I said. He said, so even that is not enough. Now we have got 4 or 5 other campuses all on our own. And this is all entirely private. There's no government funding, there's no political support, nothing. It's just Swami's grace that at every time we used to ask Swami and his permission, his guidance, and it will go. It's only a miracle, nothing. So, how can one individual start a research center and how can it run? Now, 25 years, we've been running it. So it is purely Swami's grace. So that is how the centers grew and the research centers grew. Padma Shri and all that, I don't think is due to that. Again, it is Swami's grace. I've written about that also in my book, how it happened. There are miracles which happened on the Padma Shri day. What happened? The shaking garland miracle, we call it. So if you're not read that, you should read it. I won't spoil it by telling you that. But I think ultimately it was the recognition of the research and the service to people, the free camps which were done. And so I was not expecting it at all. But one day they just told me I'm getting the Padma Shri, and so I was very grateful. It's entirely Swami's grace, of course. So.
Wow, that's truly such a roller coaster journey, I'll say, like, especially in the beginning stages and, coming out of your father's clinic and starting something from scratch. And, it's all because of Swami's grace that it grew to become
Absolutely.
probably one of the biggest diabetes centers in the world. So it's
It
truly
is
wonderful.
actually, yeah.
Truly wonderful. And then moving on to the next question, this one is actually touching more on spirituality. So, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's guidance and teachings have been a profound source of inspiration in your professional and spiritual life. Could you share a few personal experiences that reflect Swami's divinity in your life, as well as your journey towards becoming a board of trustee for the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust?
So I'll split it into two. So first is my own exposure to Swami. Even before I became a devotee, when I was having my rented place and going to other hospitals to admit patients and all that, I saw miracles of Swami occurring. I had a patient who had a foot infection, which is not healing at all. And he was a Sai devotee. I was not, nor was the surgeon treating him a Sai devotee. And this man's foot infection would not heal at all. This was one of the first real miracles that I saw. And since we had waited for a week, 10 days, and the hospital bill was going up, and this man's infection is not healing, completely whitish, no blood at all, it's completely whitish, and no signs of granulation tissue coming, in spite of good control of diabetes. Finally, we told him you have to amputate your leg. It was a considered decision. We got a second opinion, and that second opinion is also is below the knee, you have to amputate the leg. So we told him that you need an amputation. So he told us, he told the surgeon and me, give me 24 hours. I will give you my consent. Without his consent, we can't do. So he said, tomorrow I will tell you. I'll give you my consent tomorrow. Give me one day. We said, okay, I mean, one day you can take more time also if you want. It's a decision. Your leg is going to go. So it's fine. Next day we went. Actually, I went. And he told me, he was smiling and all that. Wondering, why is he smiling, Then he said, there is no need for amputation, he said. I said, are you refusing the amputation? Or he said, no, there is no need for it. I said, isn't that something which we should be saying? Has your dressing been removed since yesterday? No. Then how are you saying that no, it is not needed? Because Baba told me. I said, and Baba, which Baba? I said, Sathya Sai Baba told me. He told you. How can he tell you? He came, he met me, and he told me. He said, I said, isn't he in Puttaparthi? How did he come here? No, he came not to see me last night. He said. I said, he came to see you last night. He said, yes. I said, can you describe the whole thing? And he said, I was sleeping. I said, must have been a dream. No, it's not a dream. He tapped me. I woke up. Then I sat up. Then what did he do? He came, he sat near my leg. And what is the other patient doing? So general ward. So I said, what are the other patient doing? They were all sleeping. They didn't see. No, they didn't see. Then he just stroked my leg and he said, tell Dr. Mohan and tell the surgeon that amputation is not needed. said. And I said, then what happened after that? He just disappeared after that. After that, I didn't see. I said, are you sure? He said, I'm sure, absolutely sure. He sat there, he stroked my leg, he tapped me. I even got up, I sat up, and then he stroked my leg, and then he said, amputation not necessary. So now amputation not necessary. Baba said, amputation not. I was skeptical because I'm not a devotee. So I said, let me get the surgeon. Then I went down and said, sir, this man is telling that Baba came and saw him and he doesn't need surgery and all that. Let's open the wound and let's see. When you open the wound, for the first time, red patches have started coming on the leg. It is because it did not come for a week, totally pale, no blood, no this thing, no granulation tissue, nothing. Within 24 hours, granulation tissue has come. When granulation tissue comes, we cannot amputate. So we said, okay, something seems to be happening. I didn't believe the Sai Baba thing first, but I said, let's wait and we'll see. Within 2, 3 days, the full granulation tissue came and it completely started healing. Then we said, no need for amputation. Oh, I told you, Baba already told me that it is not needed. That was a kind of a shock for me, and both for the surgeon and for me. How can this be true? Because he has not seen the wound. And he is telling that Baba came and there is no need for amputation. And true enough, it has happened this way. So this may had a deep impression on me. Like this, I started seeing things. And then, of course, around that time, I also became a devotee, and then started seeing Swami, and then seeing even going near him. No, that the vibration and that is like a current. It is when you see like magnetism. So that slowly we started attending bhajans, we started going to Sundaram, and we went to Puttaparthi. One by one, things happened, and we became total devotees of Swami, all described in my book. Sathya Sai Baba Lives On is the one which is fully based on my experiences. Eternal Divine Grace, half the book is my experience, half the book is other devotees. I brought in other devotees to get a flavor of how others feel. Otherwise, people say, oh, you're a very blessed person, you get all that. I said, no, I'll get others' experiences and let me be just the scribe who writes it. And because I always love writing, so I said, let me write this. And so that is how Swami's experiences started coming. Various miracles started happening. So then in my personal interactions with him, he would teach me. And in an interview with me, he asked, why is diabetes increasing in India? So I thought it's something to do with genetics. We had found some new gene for diabetes in my discovery. So I said, genetics, Swami. Then he said, 30 years ago, diabetes was very much less. Now it has increased so much. Genes didn't change in 30 years, he said. Then I knew I'm trapped. Then I said, no, Swami, you tell me. I don't know. I said. Then he told me it is rice intake. Too much of rice we take to, especially in South India, we take too much of rice, and that gets. And he explained to all the people in the room how the glucose goes up and how insulin comes out, and too much of insulin comes, and the pancreas gets drained of insulin. The whole physiology he explained it there. Then he asked me, correct, doctor? He asked me. I said, when Swami says it has to be correct. Then he said, you have got data. You have collected data on rice, but you have not analyzed it. You go and analyze it. You have got the research and you have not analyzed your data, he said. How he knew I had got the data on rice and how he knew I have not analyzed it, that is one. Okay. So from Puttaparthi itself, I called my team, my food and nutrition team, and I said, hey, we collected on rice and all that. Why don't we look at different intakes of rice in the population, see whether diabetes is going up and with increased rice? They did it within a week and they found the same thing, exactly what Swami had said. From there started my work on rice and diabetes. Until today, I'm working on various aspects of rice thing. And Swami has come back again and again, even after the Mahasamadhi, has come back to show me that, I'm on the right path and he has guided. So he has guided not just my personal life, not just, but even my research, even my profession, everything he has played a direct role and giving me guidance and so on. So that is how I think it's happened. Regarding the trust part of it, I was not. I was just. I was not a Balvika student I was not in the organization. I had nothing to do. I used to just go to Sundaram, attend the bhajans, and then come back. One day, I got a call from Puttaparthi saying that will you, Swami wants to appoint you as a trustee. So I said, trustee, I don't know anything about Swami's organization. I only devotee, I just come attend bhajan and I go. No, 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 Swami thing. So I said, yeah, I agree. Then I got the letter, actually written by Swami, saying that yeah, I'm appointing you as a trustee of the Sathya Sai Trust. And that's how I became a trustee. I was one of the youngest trustees at the time to be inducted. Then, a few years after I was inducted as a trustee, maybe a couple of years, I think, 2 or 3 years later, the convener of the trust was G.K. Raman. G.K. Raman was a chairman of Sundaram Finance, and he was very big devotee of Swami, many many years, knows Swami very well, and he died in Puttaparthi. And Swami actually gave him holy water and all, something which is not done even for his mother and father. He has done for G.K. Raman. And so Raman died. After Raman died, they wanted to find a convener for the Satyasai Trust. And they went on asking Swami, all the other All India president and others who were there, they went, and the state president and of Satyasai, they all went and asked Swami, whom should we put as convener? I will tell you. I will tell you. Swami didn't tell. Then again, after 1 or 2 weeks, when he said, I told you I will tell you. You wait, he said. By the time checks are accumulating, the convener has to write all the checks and the bills and the pass the thing and everything with the convener's job. And there's no convener. So it's all accumulating. So they again went to Swami. He said, wait, I told you, to wait. He was waiting for me to become vegetarian.
Oh.
Okay. So I didn't know all this. So one fine day, that day when my wife's illness came back after many years, when the illness came back, I said, I'm going to become a vegetarian now. And my wife also became a vegetarian. After becoming a vegetarian, I get a call from Puttaparthi, the All India President V. Srinivasan. At that time, he was a president. He said, I have come from Swami, just come out from Swami's room, and Swami is asking you whether you'll take over the position of convener of the Sathya Sai Trust. I was totally shocked because already my professional work is so much. Now to take on this, I thought it's a big thing. My wife was standing next to me, okay, and she overheard him say that. And she said, take it, say yes. It's bigger than a Nobel Prize. Say yes, say yes. I was confused on one side. And then she's saying on the other side, I don't know what to say. But out of the blue, it came. I was not expecting to become convener and all that. And Swami, ask him, he's a very busy doctor, but ask him, Swami has requested whether he will be. I don't know what to say. My speech is gone, everything is gone. Then I told V. Srinivasan, sir, it's a great honor. Please tell Swami, I will take it, but he must help me to do this. I don't know anything about convener job and everything. So please tell Swami he has to guide me. But I humbly accept it. Then he went, and then he came back and said, Swami has accepted, is very happy. You will be getting the letter. And so I got the letter, appointed as convener of the Sathya Sai Trust of Tamil Nadu. Then as soon as he kept on the phone, I called my wife. I said, what are you talking about Nobel Prize and all that? What has this to do with Nobel Prize? She said, you didn't get it. I said, I didn't get it. Convener of Sathya Sai Trust and Nobel Prize. What is the connection? You please tell me. I was very angry, because she's telling Nobel Prize and he is telling, and I'm wondering whether I'll be able to do this in the first place. And I was confused and everything. Then she asked me, who appoints the prime minister of a country? She asked. I said, all the MPs and MLAs and whoever is chief minister, MLAs, MPs will appoint the thing. Then she said, who gives the Nobel Prize? That some committee sits in Stockholm and they sit down together and they'll review, some nominations come, and then they will decide. Human beings, isn't it? She said. I said, yeah, human beings only will give. Who appointed you convener of Sathya Sai Trust? God appointed you. So which is bigger? Nobel Prize is bigger or this is bigger? I was, even now I'm getting goosebumps when I say it. So I was taken aback by her spiritual development, where she was and where I was, comparing. She is saying this Nobel Prize is nothing. Some few people just sit down together, they give one fellow, they discuss, no, this fellow, that fellow, okay, we'll give this fellow. Then one Nobel Prize is announced. And that is considered such a big thing. Here is God in human form appointing you to a post which is bigger, this or that. I said, sorry, I really did not know. That is why, in all the things that I write, it considers it as the highest position, highest position. That's why I keep writing, because there's nothing bigger than that. So that was a position which Swami, both as a trust member as well as convener. Now, the other one, the central trust member and all that came after the Mahasamadhi. So at that time, V. Srinivasan was a central trust member. Then he stepped down due to ill health and all that. Then suddenly one day I got a thing saying that you're appointed as a member of the central trust, which position I'm still holding now. Then when the global council was formed, they said you should be in that. Then also they appointed me in the university. Of course, the hospitals come under me because I'm the only doctor in the trust. So the Whitefield Hospital as well as the super special hospital in Puttaparthi, they both, and the general hospital, they all come under me. Mobile hospitals, I look into all that. I'm on the hospital executive committee, HEC we call it. I'm served on that. University also, because I'm a researcher, I'm in that also. So virtually, Swami has given me quite a lot of things to do, and that those I think I consider as very great things in my life.
Wow, it's truly Swami's grace, and it was wonderful to hear all that. Like, I don't even have words to say in regards to that, but it's truly a big blessing, and it's so wonderful.
Thank you.
So, moving on to the last question before the rapid fire round.
Yeah.
Based on your life experiences, what advice would you offer to students on staying aligned academically, spiritually, and professionally, and on pursuing their life goals with clarity and purpose?
I would say the one word which they have to focus on. Focus is the word I want to use, because today there are too many distractions. It's unlike our days, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have anything when we were students. You had to go to a landline and dial if you want to make a call. Today, with the TV, with the internet, with the phones, and all, there's too much of distractions. And so I would suggest anybody who takes up at least medicine, if I'm talking about a medicine, but that's true for any other profession, a lawyer or doctor or teacher, it doesn't matter. You focus on your job. I think God has given us a vocation. God has given us a cause. He has selected us, He's given us a brain, He has given us intelligence. And because of His blessing only, we are able to come up to serve society. Now, when we become a doctor or a lawyer or any profession, engineer or whatever you want to take up, IT or whatever, there are many ways in which we can make money through underhand dealings, shortcuts. They're very tempting to, somebody says you can do this, you can get extra money, you can do this. So once you get into that, then the greed then takes over. And there's no limit to that. You will keep on wanting more and more and more and more, and finally you will become no more. So that you'll end like that. So I think we should be contented with what we have and focus on the job, as they say in Bhagavad Gita, and Swami has also said, focus on the job, on serving people, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never, not on the fruits of it. Oh, if I do this, will I get Padma Shri? If I do this, will I get this award? If I do this, will I get that? All that will come in due course. If it's meant to come to you, or something bigger than that also may come. So that shouldn't be our aim, or how much money I can make out of it. Because when we start doing that, what happens is in some of the corporate hospitals and in other places, if you come to me as a patient, let's say you come to me as a patient, I'll be looking at what watch is he wearing, what is he wearing, gold chain is he wearing. So how much I can fleece you, you know, that's my whole thing. How much are you worth to me? Okay, that will be my only thought when I see you. How much can I get? 10,000 from this guy or 20,000 from this guy? How much I can give? You are evaluated only for how much money I can get from you. Least interest I have, what you have come to me for. Okay. Whereas if you take that out of the equation, which is why from the beginning, uh, from my father's case, in my case, my daughter's case, my son-in-law's case, we are all on a salary. Even though we own the institution, we are on a salary. We have no extra perks in the sense, if I see so many patients, I'll get so much extra, this much incentive, this one. We don't have that at all. We have fixed salary. So suppose this was in the afternoon today and not at night, my time, the afternoon. I won't worry about, oh, 5 more patients are waiting outside. If I see them, I can get so much money. That's out of my, if I do research, 50% of my time, then so much income will go down. All that is gone. I'll get my salary. Okay. Now I can focus on what I want to do. So then the equation becomes, when a patient comes in, how can I help this person? What has this person come for? What are his symptoms? How can I help beyond what just writing a prescription? Okay, you got fever, you got this, you got sugar. Okay, take this medicine and go. No, it's not that. We watch them. Are they sad? Are they happy? Is there something? Then we ask them, is something worrying you? Because I find that not only just sugar, but you seem a bit upset. Then they'll come out with their stories. No, 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 my grandson. This is how one of the stories, Sai Miracles. After prodding him several times, he said, no, no, I have a grandson in Melbourne and he's not talking at all. So we are worried that he may never talk at all. Then I said, I don't know. I'm not a ENT doctor, but I'll give you Swami's picture. I'll give you Vibhuti. Please go. He was going next week to Melbourne. I said, you go, give this Vibhuti, and till this 1 week, when you go, pray every day and tell your daughter also there to keep praying. And then we'll see. We'll pray to Swami. Maybe a miracle may happen. We'll see. So he goes there, and then he comes back after some time, and he comes, all happy. I said, what happened? No, no, we just gave that vibhuti to him, and the boy is now talking away. A boy who wouldn't talk at all. So miracles like this happen. So I wouldn't. He didn't come to me for his grandson not talking. He came to me for diabetes. But because I detected there's some sadness in his thing, from there it came. Now, this was Swami's way of connecting. See how many things he has solved now. He has made me give the vibhuti to that man. This man is not a Sai devotee, has seen a miracle happening. His daughter has seen the miracle happening. The child has become okay. And the child also will be told this when the child grows up. So many people in one shot Swami has connected. How that one thing looking, he felt looked little sad. That's it. Swami made me observe that in him. And then, so this is how I think youngsters should be. You do what you want, you become academically good, you do everything. But that spiritual part of it and the professional part of it is what I would say. And I would tell young boys and all that, or girls, that you can be an entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong. I run institutions. So I'm an entrepreneur. I do that. But there are 3 E's which are very important. You need ethics, empathy, combined with entrepreneurship. If you don't have ethics, you don't have empathy for the patient, and you're a pure entrepreneur, you'll end in another E, which is evil. Because you'll become evil. Because you just want to do something, you just want money, you want this, you'll do anything to get that. Whereas you have ethics and you have empathy, then the entrepreneurship becomes something very holy, it becomes divine. So that is my thing to them. You be successful, you earn a lot of money, become very rich, because only if you become rich, you can do seva to people. You don't have money, how are you going to do? But earn it the right way, the slow and steady way, and serving people. Your whole motive should be to help people. Love all, serve all, help ever hurt. That's my advice.
Wonderful. Very simple. You gave the 3 E's, and then love all, serve all, and then truly these are all valuable guidance for not just youngsters, but for honestly everyone at this point. So, I truly appreciate you giving such wonderful guidance to us all. And then moving on to the rapid fire round. So I'll be asking you a few questions, and you can give an answer however you would like.
Yeah.
So the first question is, what is the most important human value every individual should develop?
I think gratitude, being grateful for what we have. Because if you're not grateful, you won't be contented. So a person who comes last in the class, person who comes first in the class can both be grateful. A man who has only a cycle can be grateful for that. A man who has a Mercedes Benz or a man who has a aeroplane also can be happy. So be grateful for what you have. Be contented with what you have. That is one of the greatest virtues that a person can have.
Well said. And then the next one is, who has been your greatest source of inspiration in your life?
Swami, of course, because while all others have had, my father was, my teachers were, my wife was, I have my family, so my daughter is really doing a great job, continuing what I'm doing. They're all been there. But behind all that, there was one person who has always been there, right from my childhood days. He has been there. Even when I was not his devotee, he was there with me. Looking back, so many instances in that book I've given till the time I became a devotee to show he has been there all the time. So I think, and Swami's greatest, so he is the greatest source of inspiration because he lived such a simple life, and he said, "My life is my message." And he has run hospitals completely free of cost, which I'm not able to do. I'm able to do some charity. I can't do 100% free like what Swami is doing. It's an aspiration. We'll probably never be able to emulate it. And he has said, I've only shown examples of how it is doing. And I've asked Swami this, I'm not able to do 100% free. And then Swami has said, doesn't matter. You do one day free. You see one patient free. That itself is great. So I think these kind of things, I think there's no doubt that Swami is the greatest source of inspiration.
Well said. And then what is one habit or practice that everyone should incorporate into their daily life?
I would say regular exercise is very important because that will keep a healthy body and a healthy mind go together. So I would say regular exercise, whichever exercise you like, whether it's a game, walking, jogging, swimming, tennis, whatever you like, combined with pranayama and meditation, because the mind also has to get relaxed. Even by doing jogging, running, and all, your heart rate is actually going to go up. So you're not going to get calm after doing the exercise. Your muscles will build up, your heart will get healthier, digestion will improve, but you're not actually calming down the mind. So what I do is that I do every day, I do some exercise. And apart from that, I do about 5 to 10 minutes of pranayama, breathing, and about 3 4 minutes of meditation. This will keep you grounded. This will teach you the values of life, and it will keep your heart rate down, your pulse down, your mind relaxed, so that you will be able to take on. By nature, I'm a hyper person. And if I don't do that, I will be, over anxious, and I'll be shouting at people and or throwing things and all that. After I started doing all this few decades ago, actually now, every day I do it. And so then you're relaxed. You see things, not that you'll never get angry, but you are down, you're calmed down. So I think that's something which everybody should do. Pranayama, meditation, of course, along with that, some physical activity as well.
Well said. And then the next one is, what vacation spot do you enjoy visiting the most?
I love vacations, and therefore I love travel, international travel. I travel a lot, several times a year. I keep going all over the world. Of course, if you say which part gives me greatest happiness, it's Puttaparthi only. When I go to Puttaparthi, but that's not a vacation spot, but where you get because I remember going to Hollywood, and there it was written that this is the happiest place in the world. And I said, no, Puttaparthi is the happiest place in the world, not Hollywood, you know. So from that point of view, for recharging batteries and so on, it is Puttaparthi only. But I love travel, and I love seeing beautiful places in the world. New Zealand is, if you go to southern New Zealand, Milford Sound, it's almost like being in heaven. Canada, many parts of it, Russia, and many parts of India are so beautiful. So if you go to Kodaikanal, or you go to Ooty, or you go to Shimla, or there are very beautiful Kashmir, very, very beautiful places in India also. There are, of course, in the US, there are so many beautiful places, right from Niagara to many, many places. So the world is so beautiful that it's very difficult to describe one spot to go to. And I don't go to the same place every time. Every time you go to Switzerland, so,
Mhm.
so beautiful. One of the best experience I had was going up the mountain in Switzerland. And then, of course, with the help of a person with you, jump off the mountain,
Oh,
and then
wow.
paragliding,
Yeah.
from a few thousand feet in the sky, and then go near the mountain, and then go down like that, slowly, 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 and about after 20 minutes land on the ground. It's one of a phenomenal experience that you've had, because parasailing also in the sky when you're going,
Yes.
above the sea, so that is also another thrilling experience. So these are all, so any vacation I enjoy. So,
That's wonderful. And then the final question is, what brings you the greatest sense of inner peace or fulfillment?
at the end of the day, I think it is serving people, because of course, fulfillment and peace, I told you, when you calm your mind by doing pranayama, but that I would say is a habit, not the what actually gives you pleasure and fulfillment is helping people who are in need. So, although I run my clinics, if I sit in a free clinic and see a poor patient who has absolutely nothing. We have done this with Swami's under Swami's guidance itself. We have done camps in Kodaikanal, in Sai Shruti, and Swami said, go and teach them. Don't just go and treat them. Teach them, educate them. They need education and so on. So there are villages around Kodaikanal. So there was a person who, just giving one example of a man who could hardly walk. He was actually carried to the clinic. We were about to close the camp on the third day when this man was actually carried in a kind of a stretcher. We found he was almost dying. He had wasted completely, and he couldn't even sit up. We checked his sugar to some 500. He had TB, and advanced TB, and his blood sugar was 500. So we said, bring him. This is not to be treated in the camp. Bring him to Chennai. There's nobody to bring him. Then our Sevadals brought him to Chennai. We kept him in hospital for about a week or so in my hospital, completely free of cost. We treated him, started him on anti-tuberculosis treatment, and told him for 9 months, you have to take this, you shouldn't stop it. We controlled his diabetes, gave him medications, and sent him back. Next year, when we went back to Kodaikanal for the camp, 1 year later, uh, somebody came and he brought some fruits for me, and he said, are you able to recognize me? I said, no, I can't recognize you. He said, I am that patient who came in the stretcher, 1 year ago. And thanks to the treatment that you gave, today my TB is gone, my diabetes is controlled. He put on weight, and he had, all that malnourished thing all looked gone. He walked and he came. It was a miracle. And but for him coming to that camp, and but for in Sai Shruti this happened, and but for our Sevadals bringing him there, he had nobody to bring him even. The Sevadals brought him and all that. Sheer miracle of Swami that he survived. Otherwise, he would have died, and he became okay. So that is a kind of greatest fulfillment that you get. Not somebody, a big millionaire comes and you treat them, because it's okay. They also have to be treated. Nothing against millionaires and so on. But the thing is, they don't need you. They will go tomorrow, they'll go to London and take treatment, or they'll go to Germany and take treatment. Or for them, you are just another doctor. You treat it. If you're not there, I'll go somewhere else. And whereas these people, they are dependent on good doctors who are empathetic and so on. So that is, I think, the one which gives the greatest inner peace and fulfillment.
Wow, that was wonderful. Such a wonderful answer. With that, we would like to thank you, Dr. Mohan, for joining us on the 10th episode of Side Talks. It was filled with spirituality, with motivation. And it's really such a blissful and, fun and wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Mohan.
you. Thank you so much, Aitraga, and wish you continued success in your podcast. And may this reach a lot of people, and may the world become a better place thanks to the teachings of Bhagavan. Sairam.
Thank you so much, Sairam.
Sairam.